Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Hi everyone, I'm feeling really frustrated and conflicted right now, and I wanted an outside opinion and maybe advice too. I, 29 female, have been living with my fiancé, 30 male, for the past 3 years. We've been together for 7 years, and everything was going smoothly between us, and there were discussions of marriage. 3 years ago, I moved into his condo and we split the bills 50-50. I earn a bit more, so I've been spending more on fun stuff for us. Recently, his stepsister moved in with us after her long-term relationship ended. She had nowhere to go, so we took her in as family. We only had one spare room, so it was a tight fit. The issues started piling up quickly. She doesn't have a job and leaves the house in a constant state of mess, which I end up cleaning up because I can't stand clutter. This has led to a lot of tension between my boyfriend and me. She also frequently interrupts our private moments and disrupts our daily life. For instance, if my fiancé and I are cuddling and watching TV, she'll come in and plop down on the opposite chair and start chatting. If we try to have some private time during the weekend, she'll keep knocking on our door till we open it. On top of that, our utility bills have skyrocketed. She fiddles with the thermostat, leaves the TV on, runs the washing machine constantly, which racks up our electricity bills, and keeps ordering crap online, and when the delivery is at our door, casually tells us to pay for it. I've asked my boyfriend to talk to her about these issues, but he refuses, saying she's depressed and it will only make her more depressed. He's aware of how much this is affecting me, but his response is that she's going through a rough time and we need to be understanding. I reached a breaking point and decided to sit her down to address these problems directly. She ended up crying and running to her room. Shortly after, I got a call from my boyfriend who was furious with me for crossing the line. I was cross at him for being uncaring about my needs. We argued for hours that day, but couldn't come to a solution. I've decided to take a break and temporarily stay at my sister's place. I can't handle the mess and the bills anymore. I gave my boyfriend a deadline of 1 month to sort out the situation with his stepsister, either by getting her help or by moving her out for good. Now, his mother has called and hinted that it's insensitive of me to make such demands. I just want to get my life back on track and be able to live comfortably without the added stress. Am I being unreasonable here, or am I right to set these boundaries? Thanks for any advice or insights you can offer. Update. It's been nearly 3 weeks since I moved out to stay with my sister. My boyfriend and I have been in regular contact through video calls, and we're working on mending our relationship. It seemed like we were making good progress. Things are still not working out for his stepsister. She has refused therapy and is also refusing to find a job. So my boyfriend has warned me that resolving the situation might take a month or more. I'm devastated by this news. I miss my apartment so much. My sister has 2 kids under 5, so her house isn't exactly a quiet, peaceful place. Yesterday, my boyfriend called me to ask for this month's rent and my share of the bills. I explained that I am tight on money because I'm also paying bills at my sister's place. She can't exactly afford to take me in for free. I suggested he ask his stepdad for help since he's still working and might be able to contribute something. My boyfriend was silent for a moment, then agreed to ask. Later though, he sent me a text saying I'm leaving him out to dry by not holding up my end of the deal and that he can't pay everything on his own. I'm feeling some type of way about that statement. I didn't leave the condo because I wanted to. Because he put me in an impossible situation. He knows that I have to contribute for my sister's place too. I don't have money for 2 places. I'm questioning whether I'm right to feel this way. I understand that he's in a tough spot, but I'm struggling too. And feel that his stepdad should bear some of the burden too. It's his child after all. I would appreciate any advice or perspective on how to handle this situation. Thanks for your support. Final update. This will likely be the final update I make on this situation. Today I decided to visit the condo to check on things and found it completely empty. I called my boyfriend, but he didn't answer, so I reached out to his mom, who told me they were all on their way to Florida for a vacation. My fiancé, his stepsister, his mom, and stepdad. Like, what the F? I was completely unaware of it. His mom mentioned that they missed me there and it's too bad I had the work thing. I told her that I didn't have any work trip and was completely unaware of this vacation. She was rattled by this news. Then my fiancé called me later. I went off on him for not informing me about the trip and leaving me in the dark. He told me I needed to sort out my priorities and that I was neglecting my family duties. He said the way I've handled the stepsister situation has been deplorable, and it gave him insight on what sort of a person I am. We went back and forth more and finally I hung up because I was so frustrated. After our conversation, I realized that this relationship wasn't going to work. I'm heartbroken, but I sent him a text that we are over. I'm in the process of moving my stuff to my sister's place for good. I'm struggling with whether I did the right thing. Did I overreact? Thank you to everyone who offered advice and support throughout this. Your insights have been invaluable. Take care. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. I can tell you that you made the right decision ending things with your boyfriend. The stepsister situation actually gave an insight into his behavior, and he handled the whole thing so poorly. From dismissing your complaints about his stepsister being messy and piling up bills to asking you to pay your share of the bills, even after you've moved out of the apartment, and then trying to guilt trip you when you couldn't pay. Your ex sucks, OP. He chooses his stepsister over you, and I don't think he ever made any plans of kicking her out or even talking her into making the place more livable for you. You deserve way better than him. Take care, OP. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for letting my twin brother move in without my housemate's permission? After our father died this year, my twin brother decided to leave our awful stepmother and move to where I, 22 male, am. He's supposed to be renting a room in a house, but the room is still under construction. He knew that the owners were finishing renovations before he moved, but we all thought it would only be a week or two before they finished. He arranged to stay in the living room that is shared between me and my housemate for a couple weeks until he can move into his new place. Well, construction keeps getting delayed and it has been 3 months. Yes, my twin brother has been staying on my couch for 3 months because issues keep coming up with the renovations. I have no problem with my twin brother staying with us, but my poor housemate did not agree to this. I can't just kick my twin brother out, but it is clear that my housemate wishes that we had our living room back. We think the room is almost done, but am I the a-hole for moving my twin brother in without permission? Edit. I'm getting some questions asking for a clarification, so here it is. My brother is not paying rent since we constantly expect him to be moving out soon. He has been helping with chores though. This is in California, so finding another place to move into is not like super easy or affordable. My brother's stuff is in my room, mostly, but he does occupy the living room during the night, and my housemate has to eat breakfast next to my sleeping brother. I really truly did not expect it to take 3 months, and my housemate seemed fine with him staying for a week. Edit 2. I did not realize that Reddit would take such offense to this situation. I thought I might be the a-hole, but that is why I posted under Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole, OP. You should have told your housemate about your plans of letting your brother stay at your place. I totally understand you're trying to help your twin brother, but this isn't your house. You have a roommate, and I don't blame your roommate for wanting the living room back, especially if your brother has stayed with you two for that long. You need to find someplace else for your brother to stay or have him sleep in your room from now on. Also, he has to start chipping in with the bills. It's only fair to your roommate if he does that. You owe your roommate an apology. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. You've done a good thing taking in your twin, but you should have spoken with your housemate first. it doesn't sound like it was an emergency situation, so there was time to have this discussion. Your brother also should be paying rent, keeping the space clean, and contributing to chores, etc., so as to reduce any impact on your housemate. You're the a-hole. Your brother is sleeping in common space, while your roommate is trying to eat. At the very least, your brother should have started sleeping in your room after the first week. He's also not paying rent, so your roommate is helping to put a roof over your brother's head, and all he gets in return is someone sleeping in the common area when he's using it. Your brother should have stayed at an Airbnb. I also think you should compensate your roommate somehow for the major inconvenience. Why do you think it's okay for your roommate to be inconvenienced when every solution given to you is, that doesn't work because it inconveniences me? You sleep on the floor in your room and give your brother the bed if you want to help. You pay extra rent if you don't want to ask your brother. Stop making your roommate choose between being the bad guy or being taken advantage of. Pay him a portion of the rent that he's been cheated off for the last 3 months so far. If your brother needs a place to be, you should be sacrificing your space, not the shared space that does not belong to you exclusively. By most rental agreements, you would be breaking the lease. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to immediately pick up her son, as my daughter is too tired to play with him and needs some rest? I, 29 female, have a daughter who is 4, Anna. Her father is not in the picture, and I'm raising her with the help of my grandma. To be clear, me and Anna live in her house, and I help her around the house and with bills. And she looks after Anna while I'm working. About a month ago, Anna had a very complicated operation. This is for a condition she had since she was born, and the operation essentially saved her life. However, I had to borrow money from my family, including my sister, to make sure the operation would go ahead, and I am paying it back slowly. The operation has a long recovery period. The doctors say it might take up to 6 months for her to be back to normal. Due to this, Anna gets tired really quickly, especially after active playtime. Because she's recovering, she can take naps and sleep as much as she needs. I have also made sure to break the main meals into 6 or 8 smaller meals so it is easier to eat, as recently she found eating boring because it takes too long. She has friends visiting her, and the rule with them and their parents is that if Anna gets tired, they move into less active activities like watching a cartoon or reading, which they can understand and have been complying with without issues. Thursday, my sister came around with her son and asked me to look after him for a bit as something came up at work. She knows about Anna recovering and needing rest and assured me it was for an hour or 2. My nephew Kyle is 5. And as soon as he got into the house, he wanted to play with Anna. My grandma wasn't home as she had to visit a friend, so I was looking after them. After about an hour, Anna had mentioned she was tired and wanted to watch some cartoons on Disney. But Kyle still wanted to play and didn't want to watch girly cartoons. He wanted to keep playing. I have told Anna she can go to her room and watch it there, and I will look after Kyle. But he didn't want to let go of Anna and kept insisting she must play with him since his mommy paid us. That didn't sit well with me, and he was throwing a tantrum, refusing to accept that Anna needs rest. So I called my sister and told her to pick Kyle up immediately. My sister did show up, but she wasn't happy and called me an a-hole since she was in an important meeting. And I could have sucked it up since she loaned me money for Anna's operation. So it is the least I could have done. After this, I have asked her to leave. Later that day, I received a call from my mom saying I was an a-hole too, and shouldn't have asked my sister to pick up Kyle since it's just her looking after him, as Kyle's dad is in the military and currently away. Edit. As a lot of people seem to be missing out, Kyle lashed onto Anna and would not let her go. He was holding her, making her unable to rest until she carried on playing with him, making her really stressed. I tried to take her from him and bring to the bedroom, but he would not let her go at all. And I didn't want to risk him hurting her since her scars from the operation are still fresh and only recently started to heal properly. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, Your daughter is recovering from surgery and you made her the priority, which is what you're supposed to do. The money was a loan and you're paying it back. That's all you owe. Your sister told her kid she paid you to play with her son. She's horrible. I hope your daughter gets well soon. Little kids need to be taught to respect other kids as people and not playthings. But my mummy paid you not watching cartoons because they're girly and physically refusing to let go of Anna all add up to behaviors his mom should be worried about. I can't believe she's wasting her time blaming OP rather than getting her own house in order. Her son is modeling some toxic behavior, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Kyle should have been clearly instructed by his mother that as soon as Anna gets tired, then you watch cartoons or hang out with your aunt. The words "my mummy paid you" have been repeated and enforced by his mother. What a terrible thing to teach a 5-year-old. That his cousin has zero body or play autonomy because mommy paid them. That is just terrible.